Hey, Eric, your coach here. And this is your first meeting on asking for referrals, marketing, those sorts of things. And I want to treat this just like a regular coaching call for you. So you're going to need to block out some specific amount of time. I'd say anywhere from 30 to 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Some teams who want to role play and practice would be even 60 minutes. And so what I'm going to share with you is just some of my experiences over the last 20, almost 21 years now in how to ask for referrals. So we're going to go through some things today, some steps on it, and just take some notes. Know that case acceptance is only going to happen if we got new patients coming in and your practice is healthy and vibrant. So we're going to go through all the steps together. And the biggest thing that I want you guys to understand from my point of view is asking for referrals is a normal process in owning a business. It's not something extra. It's not something some offices don't have to do. It is something that has to be done. And for those offices that are spending money on marketing, which we'll talk about at the end today on some external marketing ideas, they still get 60% of their new patients from referral from their existing patients. And so we're gonna eliminate the fear of rejection when we ask for referrals, and we're going to work on our verbal skills, and we're going to put a system around it. My goal for you guys is to be both effective and efficient with your skills, and it takes a system to do that. You can be really effective with something but take way too long to do it. If this was an all-day course on how to ask for referrals, that would be overkill. We can get this done pretty effectively as long as we're efficient with our time as well. I often tell a story about my younger son when he was 11, and I taught him to mow the lawn. And, as he got older and older and older, say in the 14, 15, 16 years old, especially 16, 17, he got really quick at mowing the lawn. He was very efficient at it. Not very effective. The lines were all over the place. There's clippings here and there. And so there's a fine balance between being both effective and efficient with our systems and our communication skills. So my goal is to help us be both of that with this system. So we're not going to be asking every single patient all day long for referrals. We're going to be very specific about it so we can be effective and efficient. Our skills, there's not going to be a bunch of steps to do this. It's going to be simple so that we can be efficient with it and effective. All right, sound good? So I'm going to enable, empower, and equip you guys to achieve your vision of this. So if you've thought, how do I ask for referrals? How do I make this something that is completely simple for my team to do? I'm going to make sure we do this. And I'm going to give you more than you expect. I want to exceed your expectations. So I've been doing this with clients since 2001. I've been in dentistry since 98. So I feel like, even though it may not be perfect, it may be something that is about as efficient and effective as possible. All right. So, what is the system? As Deming said, 94% of your success will be in the system. I've even got a system for how to load the dishwasher. Just ask my wife. So, asking for referrals is our first system that we're going to cover today. And so, in your notes, be ready to take some notes and be ready to challenge yourself and each other on how to do this better. Okay. So, my first question for you is, in any system, right? We're in dentistry, that's our big system. Where does success come from? So, some people will say success comes from your ability to just get people to, you know, allow you to do dentistry on them. Some people will say, well, look, if I do enough CE, if I have enough initials after my name, people will be lining up to come in as new patients in my office. And so what we know is that your success is going to come from your ability to deliver what you say you can do. So if you're a dentist, right, 15% of that success comes from your ability to deliver those services. Well, the other 85% comes from your ability to communicate those technical skills to someone, get them to say yes. And so I'm all about the 85%. I'm all about working with you on your people skills. So let's get started. In marketing, we're going to be looking at the bottom here, the big one. We're also going to take a look at the top three, but I'll just pepper in some things at the end to get you salivating about ideas on that. So some of you are already doing really well in those things, and today you're just here for, hey team, let's get reinvigorated on asking for referrals. So on the 60% of where your patient should be coming from. By the way, you should be using a tracker for all of your results. And so the coaching results tracker is there for you. I've been using that for a long time with a lot of clients. And one of those tabs is knowing each of these pillars you've identified, what marketing source you're using. So make sure that you know that your results are working, right? Are you tracking where your new patients are coming from and what each of those cost you to get those? If you noticed here, the most expensive ones are the smaller ones on the top. So we'll make sure that we identify those in your tracking. So make sure if you don't have a new patient tracker, you're emailing me, Eric, your coach at charter.net, to get your tracker in place. We're going to be focusing on the 80-20 principle for our asking for referrals. And so this principle was first established in 1897 by an Italian, as you can see by his name, Pareto. And what he said was, look, 80% of the results are going to come from 20% of the production, how you produce it, right? Your efforts or people. 20% of the people create 80% of the results. 20% of the people carry 80% of the wealth. His study was on shipping. He said in economics, right? He was an economist. And he said 20% of the shipping companies deliver 80% of the goods. And so he created this principle. He also said 20% of the people carry 80% of the wealth. So when we look at this, we know that in using that principle, repeat and referral business create 80% of our success. So we want our efforts to be on our top 20% of our people, helping us create 80% of that success, whether it's them doing the dentistry again, or them getting new patients in for more dentistry. Okay, so let's look at uh, how we want that 80% to look. They are a referral source relationship. There's going to be times where you're going to do external marketing, the 15X rule. Okay, so you're going to be out there doing whether it's cause related marketing, you're at a health fair or whatever it is, but you want people to see you 15 times before they probably will do business with you. You may need to ask them for referral several times. Doesn't necessarily mean 15 times, but up to that. The 15 times rule just says that people who are going to do business with you will have chosen to do so by the time they've heard of you the 15th time. And after that, it becomes the law of diminishing returns. They're probably not going to do business with you. If they've heard of you 15 times and they're still not working with you, probably not going to. So don't keep going to the same well. Okay, it's going to run dry after 15 times. Make sure you've got great new patient materials. Many of my offices now do this online. They're emailing their paperwork, new patient packet to the patient to see. Their website has that, and they're just emailing the link or an attachment. We'll talk about the 80-20 principle and how it helps us here. So here's what it looks like. Here's some just general rules, right? We talked about the top 20% of the population carry 80% of the wealth, but we also can look at it in reverse and say that, the bottom 20, right? 20% of the criminals are really good at what they do, and they create 80% of the loss of value. So the same people keep getting in accidents over and over and over again, okay? The same people who get married and divorced probably will do it multiple times. So 20% of those who marry create 80% of those divorce statistics. I thought that was really interesting. You ever move your couch and the carpet's brand new underneath, or the rug is, right? 20% of the carpet, this small area gets 80% of the wear. All right, I love this shirt. 20% of the clothes you wear them 80% of the time. All right, now, how does this look in dentistry? Our top 20% of our patients get 80% of the production. Okay, that's key. We're going to focus in on that group today. 20% of the procedures you do create 80% of your production. So crowns, bridges, implants, right? And hygiene, scaling and root planing, periodontal maintenance appointments. Those are the things that we have to be aware of. We also know that some procedures are just more profitable than others. When we're doing deliveries, adjustments, even a new patient visit, it's not going to create that sort of profit that we're looking for. So we got to know what those are as well. There are some really good dentists out there, and usually those are the ones I'm talking to, and they're doing most of the dentistry. You know that 80% of your goal is made in that first 5 hours of your ideal day scheduling. So there'll be a meeting on ideal day scheduling here for you to watch or for us to have. And so the first 5 hours of your day, 80% of your goal is made during that time. Now, let's flip the script. The top of it says the top 20% of our patients create 80% of our production. Well, the bottom 20% of our bottom 20% patients create 80% of the problems. So don't create rules and policies based upon those people. They're the minority. Okay. Along with that, 20% of the team creates 80% of the problems. That doesn't mean it's the same person over and over again. It may be, one team member one day, another team member another. That becomes the turkey. So make sure that you guys are comfortable coaching each other. And we'll talk about coaching each other in meeting too. So make sure that you know how to be a top 20 team member as well, an Eagle. All right. So this is Inigo Montoya. You probably remember him from a movie. And he says, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." And so I thought, you know what? He's actually using some really good verbal skills. He's introducing himself, right? He's giving his name. He's got a polite greeting, that first line. And he says to that person, "Look, we're related. You offended me. You did something." And then he gives expectations, prepare to die. So this actually 4 steps to his system here, and it's pretty good. We're going to actually use this 4-step system in a similar way to ask for referrals. So, and this slide is in here because look, you learn 4 times faster when you're laughing. So there's also a good system there. So let's look at asking for referrals. This is what I want you to write down. So when you ask for referrals, you're going to, step 1, compliment the patient. Maybe they've complimented you first and you want to reply with a compliment. That's fine too. If your ears are tuned in to listen for compliments, then your ears will be tuned in to asking for referrals. They go hand in hand. So number 1, compliment the patient. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go over the whole thing with you. Sounds like this. This morning, we all were at our morning meeting. And you know what, Ricky Bobby? We saw your name on the schedule and we said, "Oh, gosh, we love seeing Ricky Bobby. He's one of our favorite patients. He is our favorite patient, right? He's one of the best." Whatever you're comfortable with. Step 2, educate the patient. Let them know what you are expecting from them, right? We're looking for more patients just like you, okay? And as you know, something I always do, ask. So get permission from them. Make sure they're comfortable with this process. Are you the type of person who's comfortable recommending your friends, family, coworkers to the dental office? You put that question out there. And if they say no, respect that. Maybe ask for an online review. It's the same process here, okay? But that's what brings us to number 4, the next logical step. So if it makes more sense for you to be directing them towards an online review like Yelp or Google, then go that route. But the goal here is to get to a place where we can ask them for referrals. So next logical step, would you like some referral cards? How many referral cards can I give you? 5, 10, 20? Look, we're only going to ask top 20 patients. What that means is define that. Patients who love you. Okay? So know who those people are. The second thing is you're only going to ask 2 people a day on purpose. So at your morning huddle, in your morning huddle agenda, make sure it has a place for you to put in your agenda, who will you ask for referral today? Go around the room, pick your 2 people. You don't want overlap, so look at your column hygienists, pick 2 people out of that you know already love you. They're not going to reject you here. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, right? They're the easy ones. They're top 20s. They want to help. Assistants, pick 2 people out of the doctor schedule. And yes, doctor, pick 2 people out of the doctor schedule. Know who you're all going to ask so you don't pick the same people. Now, maybe you're a new practice, a young practice, you don't have that many patients. Start out with 1. That's fine too. But pick someone. If you don't do it, it'll be too easy to forget. Your system is gone because you're not doing it, right? There's no system in place, and therefore it doesn't happen. And then I hear offices say, we're hit or miss, we're getting better. Don't be in that category. That's middle of the road. Be the best at this. Okay. That means be on purpose about it, create a system and say, I'm assigning myself these two people. Again, it could be one person, a two. I wouldn't say go above two because it takes time. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, and you got other things to do that are important. Conversion exams, right? Case presentation. These are probably going to be patients who've already moved through dentistry for you. They've already completed that dental. They're healthy now. But in the past, they were those patients who you were really trying to get into dentistry. So I've left this on a screen for a long time for you to write down. But I want you to understand something. This system starts at your morning huddle. If you do not have a morning huddle agenda, email me, ericyourcoach@charter.net. We could do a team meeting on this if you want. But make sure that at your morning huddle, you're doing two things. On day one, Monday, right? You're saying, these are the people I'm going to ask today. Everybody goes around the room. Now on day two, Tuesday, you look back at day one and you say, how did it go asking the two people you said you would for referrals? Now you're creating accountability in your system. Without that accountability on day two, it'll be too easy and convenient for you to forget to do this. It is so important for you to have your complete system in place, day one and day two. Now, on day two, you don't need to ask every single team member how it went, right? But you need to ask one or two of you, and you don't know who, right? You just pick a couple people, you audit the room, and you say, Rebecca, right? Rebecca, the receptionist, how did it go asking for referrals yesterday? Now, location. Make sure that you're doing this in a private setting. So I'm not going to be standing at the front desk area with several patients waiting in the reception room and ask a patient in front of everybody else for the referral. I'm going to pull them over to the side in my semi-private area of my administrative area, and I'm going to ask them. So it's going to be really important for you to know ahead of time who you're going to do this with. That way you're seated in the right area. I don't want other patients overhearing this conversation because I'm probably not asking them. And I also don't want them hearing that, hey, this is one of my favorite patients. They're going to get jealous. They're going to wonder why we're not having this conversation with them. Does that make sense? Okay. So how this sounds. So if I were to play this out, right? Morning huddle, I've chosen my couple patients. Ricky Bobby is my patient I'm going to ask. And so time comes for me. I'm seated in my semi-private area, and my clinical team member brings the patient to the front, does a transfer of care right to me. I accept this patient, and I complete the visit. And at the end, I compliment them. Here's how it goes. I say, Ricky Bobby, as you know, we love seeing you in the practice. The whole team really was excited. We just really got a smile on our face when we saw your name on the schedule today. We love seeing Ricky Bobby. And so I want to thank you for being such a great patient. You're really amazing. Now, he might respond, just thank you. He might compliment me back. It doesn't matter, whatever that is. Now, if he goes, man, I'm in a hurry, I got to go. Fine, we'll see you later. I'll do it next time. But at least I complimented the patient. If nothing else, I've appreciated him. Okay? Most likely it will continue. And I'll go on to step two now. So, we're the type of practice that's always looking for patients just like you, Ricky Bobby. Patients who value what we do, who see the positive results we're able to create, and know that they can trust us to get them healthy. And so I have a question for you. Would you be comfortable recommending us to your friends, family, coworkers, people in your life? Is that something you're comfortable with? He will say yes or no. If he says yes, then I say, great. Well, how about I give you some of my referral cards? These are cards that have our business information on the front with my name. On the back, it's an easy way to introduce your friend or family or coworker to us. And you can actually write their name on there if you want. You can just hand them the card, whatever you prefer, whatever's easier for you. So how many of these would you like? 5, 10, more? Now he's going to tell me how many he wants, how many he doesn't want. Oh, I'm not comfortable with that. Or yeah, give me those. This is way different, guys, than going, all right, here's your bag of goodies. I got your toothbrush, your floss, and I put some referral cards in there for you. They're not going to use those. Those become bookmarks. They put them under their desk. Their desk doesn't wobble anymore. They're not being used. I've given him the reason why he should use these. And so it's so important for you to give them to him. Now he can put them in his goodie bag now. That's fine. But he has a purpose for them. Okay. Even if he doesn't use those, he will still know that we're looking for more patients just like him. Birds of a feather flock together. And so because we're looking for patients like him, he's more likely to send them to us. Now, let's go back to step 3. I say, are you comfortable, recommending us to your friends, family, coworker? And he says, it's just not something I'm comfortable talking about. I don't like pointing out to people, they have bad breath or their teeth are ugly or something like that. My next logical step would be this. I'd say, that's fine, Ricky Bobby. Absolutely. Would you be more comfortable with an online review with, say, Yelp or Google reviews? Oh, yeah, that's way more comfortable for me. I'd rather do something like that. Then I'll direct them to that. I've got a postcard. Front side shows how to do a Yelp review for office. Back side shows how to do a Google review, and I hand them that card. If you need a referral card or a postcard, a review postcard example, email me, ericyourcoach@charter.net. Happy to talk to you about those and give you examples. Okay, we can handle that by email. So now it's your time. It's your time to practice this. So you may want to pause the video. You may want to stop this for a second. Spend 5 minutes, right? One of you gets to be the patient. One of you is the dental team member, right? You ask for the referral, and then you flip-flop. You go back and you ask for the referral. Maybe it's a review. Doesn't matter. So take a moment, pause, practice this, spend 3 to 4 minutes on it, and then pick back up because we're going to come back and talk about more marketing. All right, go for it. All right, how'd you do? If you have challenges or questions with this, email me those. Say, what if a patient says this or that? You're welcome to email me. I'm happy to help. Now, document. You've got to document when you do this conversation. So those of you that are in Dentrix, you're going to go to Family File Patient Notes. You're going to put a note in. You're going to hit Insert Dateline. Those of you that are in EagleSoft, Patient Memo. All the other softwares, find a place in the name, address section, phone number where you can put a note. Do not mix these notes up with your clinical notes. You'll never find them. It's very important. It's imperative that they're in chronological order. Here's your system, right? Okay. We need to remember who we asked for referrals from. Okay. Because if I'm the person asking today, right, and then Dr. Jones, in 2 weeks, my doctor says, hey, I'm going to ask Ricky Bobby for a referral today. And I forget that I asked him, or I'm not there for some reason that day, or he just decides to do it on his own. He goes rogue outside the system, and he follows this script or this concept with Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby's going to go, deja vu. Wait a second. I just had this conversation with Eric 2 weeks ago. It's going to seem real awkward. So in your notes, document, right? Insert dateline. Asked Ricky Bobby for referral. Positive response, gave him 10 referral cards. Negative response, asked him to do a review. He was more compliant with that idea. Now, every time we think about asking for a referral, we go look at this notes section first before we ever do it. Have to do it that way. Okay? If you don't have your note system in place, you're going to step on each other's toes and it's going to seem real awkward. Now, in the notes, let's say Ricky Bobby comes in 6 months, right? Comes in 6 months. And he's in hygiene this time. And my hygienist, Jenny, says, well, I'm gonna not ask him for a referral because I can see the notes Eric did, but I'm gonna follow up. So she would say to him, she'd say, Ricky Bobby, I know last time you're in, Eric gave you some referral cards. And so just wondering if I can give you some more of those if you're in need of them or if you still have plenty. And then document that she did that. Offered more cards. He said he still had a few. Or he wanted more cards, right? The third thing you're going to put in your notes is when Ricky Bobby refers someone to us, once I've seen that patient, I've checked them out, and I know that Ricky Bobby referred this patient. He referred Marky Mark to the practice, okay? So I go into Ricky Bobby's notes, insert dateline, I say, referred Marky Mark in as a new patient, sent thank you card. Listen, guys, you've got to make sure that you're giving a thank you gift for your referrals. Nowhere in my system beforehand did I say to them, step 5, right? And if you send new patients to us, we're going to give you a $25 Amazon gift card. There's no bribery. That didn't occur. But after the fact, once Marky Mark, I figured out he's a good patient, right? He's not a turkey. I make a note to myself, send Ricky Bobby a thank you new patient card, right? And you've got a bunch of card stock set up, right? Monet picture on the front. All of you signed it on the inside. It's blank other than that. And I just handwrite, thank you so much for trusting us with your friends and family. I insert a $25 Amazon gift card. I put that in the mail and I send it to Ricky Bobby. Now, what do you think is going to happen when he gets this card? It says, thank you for trusting us. And he's got a $25 Amazon gift card. What is he more likely to do now in the future? Give out more referral cards. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you've got to be giving out a $20, $25 gift card. Amazon is my preference. I find that works awesome because people love it. They can buy anything they want there. Some people do movie tickets. I think that's a good idea. I don't know that everybody goes to the movies all the time, and so they may or may not use them, but I think that's a good idea. I just think for the same amount of money, you can give them whatever they want. I have offices that have Starbucks $5 gift cards. They keep those on stock. Look, those are for a situation more like where you're running late and you want to apologize, or they were frustrated about something. Give them a Starbucks card. That's what those are for. That's customer service, guys. You got to have them. So I would document that I mailed him this card. Lastly, in those notes, in your documentation, when that patient shows up and we know that Marky Mark has come in, Dr. Jones is going to make sure that he personally thanks Ricky Bobby for sending in Marky Mark. Why the doctor? Perception to be the most powerful person in the office from the patient's perspective, right? So when the doctor says, Ricky Bobby, thank you so much for entrusting us with the care of your friends and family. We really enjoyed seeing Marky Mark. Thank you so much. There's no HIPAA violation. You're not talking about, dentistry or anything or what you did on the patient. Just thank him. And then you document that you did that. If doctor's not there that day for some reason, the hygienist does it. Your treatment coordinator, your manager does it. Your practice administrator does it. Somebody does it and you document it. Okay? All right. So, morning huddle, you're going to assign who you're going to ask for. Day 2 morning huddle, you're going to create accountability and ask how it went. Here's your script, your concept for what you're going to ask, right? Your 4 steps. Then you're going to document that you did it. And then you're going to send out cards, right? Thank you cards, reward them for it so they're more likely to do it again. You're going to see your referrals go up. All right. You've practiced it. Now, you're going to pick out 1 to 2 patients per day, document the conversation, send the thank you card with a gift card in it. You can write this down if you like. It's so important for you guys to follow the system. The system helps you create your success. 94% of your success is in the system. When you deviate from this, you run the risk of not getting as good a results as you may achieve. You want good results. We're going to track them in the new patient tracker. So if you want good results, follow this system. Everybody got it? All right. Now, look at your top 20 of your patients. Here's your action plan. Here's us doing this, right? Look at your list of patients and say, what does a top 20 look like for us? To keep it really simple, when I did this, my top 20 patients were, I like them, they like me. Those were people who were referral based for me, that 3rd bullet point. Now, some people would add to it and say they did a ton of dentistry with us. They moved through their dentistry. They were an easy patient to work on. They had a lot of dentistry to do. You can add that if you want, all right? What does a middle 60 look like? You know what? They're patients who are in hygiene a lot. They may or may not need a lot of dentistry, but they could still be a really good patient, for, a source for new patients. They like you and you like them, okay? Bottom 20s, these are people that we typically don't enjoy seeing, or they don't show up. They miss their appointments. They don't pay their bills. They complain about insurance or the bill. they come in late. Do me a favor and don't create policies and signs and placards for these people. You're offending the other 80% when you put a placard up on your desk that says we expect payment at the time of service, or you've got a sign on the wall that says if you don't show up for your appointment, we will charge you. I mean, they're literally in your building and they're reading a sign that you just put up that says if you don't show up, we're going to charge you. Policy is a nice word for threat. It's a threat. And 80% of the people don't enjoy it. So just have a conversation with your bottom 20. Learn how to deal with them and either turn them into middle 60s or get rid of them. We'll talk more about that when we deal with cancellation prevention and handling cancellations in that meeting. All right, social media. We talked about the different pillars of marketing, right? So when you look at your coaching results tracker, you've got different columns. One of them is going to be patient referrals. One of them is going to be Yelp. One of them is going to be Google website. One of them is going to be social marketing. And so, I manage probably, 20 or so clients' Facebook pages. All right. So on your Facebook page, there's some things there's some do's and don'ts. And I just want to cover those with you today. If you want me to manage it for you, I'm happy to do that. You can email me more about it, ericyourcoach@charter.net. It's not very expensive. It's very easy to do and help you guys out here. Or you can just learn from me and how to do it. You can do it yourself. Okay. So couple don'ts. Please don't put scary pictures of ugly teeth and that's it on your Facebook page. Maybe you pepper before and afters here and there, but don't have that be the only thing you put in. Look, guys, why do people get on Facebook? Outside of dentistry, average Joe, Ricky Bobby's getting on Facebook. Why is he getting on there? What's the point of Facebook for him? It's entertainment. It's entertainment. He's not looking to read an article on occlusion or implant surgeries, right? That's not what he's doing there for. What happens is this is the window to your practice. Show them who you are. Look at this picture. This is a picture of Dr. Bryant's team, right? It's a great picture. Now, look, I use the analogy of two restaurants. You're driving through town. You want to sit down with the family and eat. There's two restaurants right next to each other. One is, it's got windows and lights on. You can see the people in there enjoying themselves. The other, there are no windows. It's a fancy French restaurant. There's no windows. You can't tell what's going on. Which one are you more likely to go into? The one with the windows. And so what happens when people find your website, they Google you, they find you on your website, you're on page 1 of a Google search, right? And they see you, they go to your website, they look at your website for a little bit, and they see a little icon on there that says Facebook, Yelp, Google reviews. That's where these things come into play. They are support. They're not a primary marketing piece, they are a support marketing piece. And if you don't have this piece, they're not going to be able to see inside the restaurant, right? They're going to think you're not relevant. They're going to think you're not up with the times, and they're not tech savvy. And so please don't flood your Facebook accounts with before and after pictures or dental articles. My premise when I do all my posts for my clients is #smile. So anything that would make you smile is what we're going to talk about in posts. We're going to post a picture and we're going to #smile and we're going to have a comment on there. We're going to really try to get them to hit like. That's what we want to do. People don't like articles or, before and after pictures, scary pictures. Very few do. Now, what the team's role in this is obviously get people to like the page and follow the page, but also either once a week share the post, right, as a team member, or everybody start commenting on a post to really get the ripple effect moving out. So if you want help with this, I'm happy to go over with you. You can email me and set up a call and we can talk about this. If you have questions, I'm here to support you on it. Okay. Get it going. You got to have it. Now, your online reputation, Google reviews, Yelp reviews. It seems like everybody loves Google and hates Yelp. Okay. Here's the bad news. Yelp isn't going away. So you might as well take advantage of it, right? This is Dr. Dutton's office, a client of mine. I managed her Yelp page for a while, and she now gets 3.5, 4 new patients a month from Yelp because she is on the first page when someone Yelps dentist in her town. Okay. So when someone does a Google review, they put best dentist, Anytown, USA, one of the first options in a Google search is Yelp. They are number one there. It's not a paid ad. They're number one. So people will click on Yelp. Now, Yelp is going to organize you by number of 5-star reviews. So you can see it when I screenshotted this back when they had 10 reviews. Reviews get filtered on Yelp, usually the good ones. And so you got to keep having your patients do that. This is where your postcard comes into play. You have a postcard that you can hand someone to say, hey, please do a Google or Yelp review for us with your verbal skills that we talked about earlier with asking for referral. It's the same verbal skill, asking for a review. You've got to be on page one. So go to Yelp, type in dentist, put in your town, and see where you are. If you're not on page one for free, do not pay Yelp any money. You don't need to do that. Then you won't show up on page one. Okay? So make sure that you have a postcard to hand them, because this is a physical representation of a reminder to do the review. Secondary to that, you have to have a company helping you. Okay. Now, I have companies that I refer to that will give you a discount because I referred you, like $50 a month. So I don't want to mention who they are here because I need to connect you to them. And honestly, sometimes those change. And so I don't know how many years this video will be out there circulating, but I don't want to mention any names because sometimes I'm recommending a certain company and sometimes I'm recommending another depending on what they're doing. But here's what they do. They do your text and email reminder system for your appointments. So they decrease your cancellation no-show rate there in hygiene and doctor. They also will work any patient who is overdue for hygiene by text messaging and emailing them to get them a schedule. And then third, they should be sending a post-appointment survey request for Google or Yelp. And they do it in an awesome way where you're not at risk for getting negative reviews. Look, people who are unhappy are going to go do a review, whether you ask them to or not. They're going to go do a review. So you got to have good reviews in there. You got to get those 5 stars up. Okay. Google reviews are not going to push your website to page one of Google search engines. Okay. So your SEO, search engine optimization, or SEM, search engine management, has to be done by a company. I have a company or two that I recommend. Ask me and I'll connect you with them. That way you get a good deal and you know somebody you can trust. But look, guys, here's the deal. If you're not on page one of a Google search, people can't find you. What's the point of spending all this money on a website if nobody ever gets to see it, right? You should be getting about, depending on the size of your practice, one doctor practice, 3 to 4 new patients a month from your website. You should be getting 2 to 4 Yelp new patients a month. Nobody has yellow pages anymore. Nobody has a book to turn to. If they don't know who to turn to, they're turning to Google or Yelp. You need to be there. You guys got it? If you need help with it, make sure you ask me. As far as SEO, management of your search engine optimization stuff, you should be getting a Google Analytics page from your manager, okay? You're paying money every month for something beyond your website for SEO or SEM, and you should be getting results from that. You should not be paying for Google ads. Take a moment and ask yourselves, when you guys do a search on Google and you see the ads come up on top, do you click on those ads or do you skip over them? Most people I talk to don't click on the ads. They go down below and they start looking at results, okay? So you want to be there for free and not a pay-per-click situation, but you're paying your SEO person to get you there with keyword optimization, okay? All right. Now, let's assign leadership here. We've created an action plan. We know what to do. We should have 2 leaders here. One who's going to lead us in our morning huddle, okay? Making sure that we have a morning huddle, making sure that in that morning huddle, we are asking for who will ask for referrals today. So this person isn't the one responsible for asking for all the referrals, my leader. They're the one making sure that everyone is going to do it. So responsible to, not responsible for. So 1 leader there, maybe 2 if you're a large office. And the second leader is someone who's doing your online reputation management, Facebook, Yelp, SEO, all of those things have to be managed by someone. So make sure you also have a leader there. That probably is administrative, but I've seen assistants do this who are just savvy with those things, and that's awesome. Okay. I'm also here to help support you in that. So assign leaders, make sure you do that. Don't skip that. That's part of the system. If you don't have this, if everyone's responsible, nobody's responsible. Things fall through the cracks. They just don't get done. And next thing you know, man, we're just not getting results from asking for referrals. Why? Because we're not doing it because no one's holding us accountable to do it. Okay, you guys got it? All right, homework for next meeting. Probably in about a month. I want to give you some time to get this down. I want you to have a permission statement written out. If you don't know what that is, I have an example for you. But this is something that you use to help with case acceptance, something you start with. It may be a financial person giving the patient permission to choose options, okay? Could be a hygiene appointment, and you're going to do a peri-evaluation. The hygienist says, hey, I'm going to be evaluating the health of your gums. I want to be able to tell you everything I see. Does that sound good? They say yes. Ask a question. And then you say, you know what? If we find anything in there that we make recommendations on, just know that there's no pressure from us. You have the final say in how you move forward. All right. Now, this is an example of how to do this for a doctor. So maybe you've been using one. Maybe you want to use one. Write this down. Take a picture of it with your phone right now so that you can do your homework. Because at your next meeting, we're going to go through how to make sure this is going well. We're going to role play it and practice it. Okay. So perfect this over the next 30 days and come back to our next meeting with this homework accomplished. Here's what we're going to be covering next. Just handling fear of rejection. Approval addiction. Joyce Myers wrote a book on this. This is not a dental thing. This is a everyone thing. So how to be confident in your ability to deliver your system and your verbal skills, how to encourage each other as a team and coaching each other. We're going to talk about that. Your homework is your permission statement. We're going to talk about it some more, get into that. And then my favorite verbal skill of all time, eliminating limiting terms. And if you know what those are, you will have some fun with it. If you've never heard of that term before, we're going to talk about it and make sure that it's not killing your case acceptance. All right, you guys, if you got through this, you did well. And I'm really excited to do more of this with you. Thank you so much for just being awesome participants and just working through this with me. I know it takes time, but we are on our path to great case acceptance and just having awesome systems in place. So Eric, your coach at charter.net. You can also find me on Facebook, of course, Vickery Coaching. You can find me on Instagram. So just look for me. You can see all of these links here on my website, vickerydentalconsulting.com. And I'm happy to help you guys. All right. Have a great one. Take care, you guys.